And for some sports news now, here's Olumide Macaulay.
Thank you, Millicent. Hello and welcome to Sports News. The Nigeria Football Federation have lined up 10 international friendlies for the Super Falcons ahead of the FIFA Women's World Cup. According to the NFF, after the China and Cyprus invitational tournaments, the reigning African champions will engage Spain or Canada in a warm-up. The team will then play 2 tune-up games before a final training camp in Austria. The NFF said the Super Falcons will be camped in the same place in Australia where the Super Eagles stayed before flying to Russia to participate in last year's FIFA World Cup. Kada City have emerged champions of the Nigeria National League Super 8 played in Aba, Abia State. The Kaduna-based outfit defeated favourite Bendel Insurance 4-3 via penalties after the game had ended 1-1 at regulation time. Kada City, Bendel Insurance, Remo Stars and Gombe United will feature in the 2018-2019 NPFL, which begins on Sunday, January the 13th. The Spanish Civil Guard have arrested 83 people, including 28 professional players, following an investigation into match fixing by an organized Armenian criminal gang. 11 house searches were carried out in Spain, in which 167,000 euros in cash was seized, along with a shotgun, more than 50 electronic devices, credit cards, 5 luxury vehicles, and documentation related to the case. Also, 42 bank accounts and their balances have been frozen. One of the 28 players took part in the last US Open, although their identity has not been revealed. The European Union's Europol agency said at least 97 ITF features and challenger matches were fixed. In tennis, defending champion Roger Federer will start his bid for a hat-trick of Australian Open titles next week against unseeded Uzbek Denis Istomin. The draw for the first Grand Slam of the season was made on Thursday, and the top seeds will face some early tests on their title credentials. The 37-year-old could meet Marin Cilic in the quarterfinals. Novak Djokovic will first meet a qualifier in his bid for a record 7th Melbourne title. Djokovic will then play Frenchman Jo-Wilfried Tsonga in the second round with a possible quarterfinal against Kei Nishikori. And in a related development, defending champion Caroline Wozniacki will begin her campaign against Alison Jan of Belgium. Elsewhere in the bottom half in Wozniacki's quarter, Maria Sharapova will open against the qualifier and could be a potential third-round hurdle for the Danes' hopes. World number 1 Simona Halep has been drawn against Kay Kanepi. Serena Williams, who is targeting a record-equaling 24th Grand Slam, faces Germany's Tatjana Maria with a potential 4th-round date against Halep, and if she gets through that, Karolina Pliskova in the last 8. Her sister Venus faces Romania's Mihaela Vozerescu in the first round. That's it on Sports News. The News at 10 continues shortly with Millicent.
Thank you, Olumide. 4 people, 2 police officers and 2 civilians have been killed in the Democratic Republic of Congo following protests over opposition candidate Felix Tshisekedi's victory in the presidential election. 10 people have also been injured. Meanwhile, the British government has joined in reacting to the announcement of provisional results of presidential election in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The protests have drawn concern from the international community about the ensuing violence. Announcements of the results made overnight by the Electoral Commission has sparked accusations of an electoral coup from federal opposition candidate Martin Fayulu. Meanwhile, supporters of Mr. Tshisekedi have been celebrating victory of their candidate.
2 years since preparations began for a presidential election, the Democratic Republic of Congo can now boast of a new president in person of Felix Tshisekedi. It would be the first time the opposition candidate would win in a presidential election in the country. People stayed up till late Wednesday night to listen to the Electoral Commission declare Felix Antoine Tshisekedi the winner of a disorganized and contentious presidential election. The reaction, jubilation, as Tshisekedi supporters filled streets of the capital Kinshasa, Bukavu City, and even the volatile region of North Kivu. Thousands danced in his Limete neighborhood, chanting that Congo had turned the page on the Kabila era. Upon the declaration of his victory, the president-elect paid his respects to outgoing President Joseph Kabila, whom he described as a partner in democratic change.
First of all, I wish to thank God, the master of time and circumstances. I know many of you find it hard to accept, but I say it with sincerity. I pay homage to President Joseph Kabila, President of the Republic. We must no longer consider each other as adversaries, but rather as partners in democratic change in our country.
Tshisekedi is the leader of the Union for Democracy and Social Progress, which is also the oldest and largest opposition party of the DR Congo. The Election Commission says he won with 38.57% of more than 18 million ballots cast.
And true to his word, U.S. President Donald Trump is in Texas for a visit to the U.S.-Mexico border after threatening to use emergency powers to bypass Congress and get funding despite the government partial shutdown. During a roundtable meeting with officials, President Trump said he would not relent in fighting for the war as it is the right thing to do. He added that Mexico will pay for the war through trade deals while insisting that a government funding bill to end the shutdown must include $5.7 billion for a border barrier, his signature campaign promise. And the main news again. As presidential election campaigns gather momentum, the PDP candidate Atiku Abubakar today promised a government composed of 70% youth and women, while the ACPN candidate Obi Ezekwesili pledged to fix electricity effectively. Also today, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, released a 7-step voting process for the 2019 general elections. The process provides for simultaneous accreditation and voting. And that's news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Nwaka. Have a good night.